What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the shop once again. So for today's video, I just wanted to give you a quick shop update on some vehicles I'm working on, some projects we're working on, and some future videos that are going to be coming out here real soon. Also, I want to give you a quick shop tour update on some upgrades we installed and some problems we're having at the shop. And I know a lot of you out there that own shops that are watching these videos can definitely relate to the problems we're having and maybe even learn something from the upgrades that I did that I found work back here. So let's take a look around. I just had the shop cleaned, so I'm not too embarrassed to have you guys walk around with me and see what's going on behind the scenes. Let's check it out. Alright, so first things first, let's talk about a couple of vehicles that are in for diagnostics and repair. So this one right here is an 07 F-150 King Ranch, and this thing is immaculate. The guy drove up from Mississippi to get it worked on, and I'm really impressed. I mean, it's got tinted out windows, it's jacked up, leveled out, and it's like new inside and out. I mean, look under the hood here. So it'd be really nice to work on something that's this nice and clean for a change. So this customer drove up from Mississippi, like I said, for a basic timing job on the engine, what I do every day, right? Well, he also mentioned that he's having a problem with cylinders 2 and 4 on here, having a slight misfire that no one down there could really diagnose. So they went and put plugs and coils and you name it, trying to figure out those 2 cylinders on there. And then they came to the conclusion that the intake manifold was cracked, sucking in unmetered air to those cylinders and causing a lean misfire. I told the guy, I forewarned him because we had to pre-order the intake to have it here and ready for him. I warned him, I've been working on the 543 valve since it came out. So the engine came out in 04 and I started the dealer in early 05. So I've been working on this engine my entire career, and this is my specialty now too. So I work on them every day here. It's all I really do. And I told him I've never seen a cracked intake on a 543 valve engine. And sure enough, this one is not cracked. So we'll have a diagnostic video on that and show you just how quickly I diagnosed what was really going on here. It was really simple, actually. I don't know how they missed it. So this vehicle over here, the customer, he called us yesterday kind of frantically calling us, and he's frustrated and upset because he just put in a Powertrain Products remanufactured engine into it, and he's getting a P0345, 349 camshaft intermittent error codes on bank 2, and he's also getting a knock sensor code on here. And he's frustrated because he just put the engine in, it should be all new, and you could tell he looks like he put actual effort into installing this engine. It's a pretty clean install on here. He wrapped up all the harnesses, stuff like that. He changed a lot of components out while it was, out, dipstick tubes and all kinds of stuff. Pretty darn clean install. And then he has these problems afterwards. So I said, yeah, bring it in. I know you're frustrated, and we're going to figure it out. I'm sure it's something simple. I'm sure it's electrical on here. So we'll have a diagnostic video on this one, too, because that'll be a really interesting one. I really don't think the engine's at fault. Speaking of engines at fault, this beast right here is a Jasper. Jasper, I do not recommend Jaspers at all, ever. I've had really bad luck with them. I've had their warranty departments give me a lot of hassle. Basically saying let them just self-destruct before we do anything about it. So this one was put in 98,000 miles ago. You can see it, man, it's just leaking everywhere. It's just a nightmare. The problem was it's basically self-destructed. So the rod, at least one of the rods came through the block back here. You can see out the other side, actually, on there. So, of course, it was puking oil all up the side there, a milkshake of oil and coolant out there. But it ran, and I was able to drive it in, which was, nice to be able to drive it in instead of push it in. And then the rod, the same rod, if not second rod, came through this side. Hit the webbing on there, on the block, which is the strongest point. It didn't come through, but, man, it was close. So this thing sounded like a nightmare when I pulled it in. So what we're going to do on this, we'll do a dedicated video to this engine where I pull the top end components off of here and look at them, and then we'll flip it over, we'll pull the pan, and we'll check it out on the inside, all the destruction. It's always fun. So that'll be a good video too, and then I'll send it back. I'm sure they're just going to melt this one down. Okay, as far as shop updates go, and this is mainly for the shop owners out there, let's do a little shop talk here. So What I'm going to do, I think, with the engine oil here, because I'm really sick of stocking oil bottles and then tossing them. There's just so much garbage and stuff like that, is we're going to make this whole shelf up here for oil, and it's going to be all Pennzoil Platinum. I love Pennzoil Platinum oil, so we'll have that for our full synthetic customers. And then for our base stock Dyno Oil and Synblend customers, we're going to start using bulk oil from Motorcraft. Motorcraft Synblend is actually really, really good stuff, but this is a whole nother fiasco with this stuff, because what they were trying to give me were barrels that were API SN rated, and the current rating is SP. So there was SN, SN Plus, and then SP currently. So the barrels they were trying to send me were technically 2 specs behind. I was like, that's not going to happen, not for my customers. So I ended up getting a good barrel from them that's at least SN and SN Plus certified on there. It's kind of universal on there. So this is a really good oil, and that's really important for all the EcoBoost engines, especially the new SP oil. It fixes a lot of wear issues on the EcoBoost engines. So I've been avoiding bulk oil. I have room for it over there, but I've been avoiding it because how do you get it out of the truck? It's like 1,000 pounds or something like that. So I finally found this contraption right here that actually hooks on the cherry picker. Hook it on the cherry picker, lifts up, and all these arms come in and tighten as you lift it up, and it'll actually pull it off the truck for me. So that's my solution for that going forward. Speaking of, look at all this over here, engine destruction, right? So this right here is just a mess of parts, mainly from the 543 valve. You can see all the timing parts in here, various vehicles. You could tell which ones maintain the wheel. I mean, look at this one compared to these parts right here that are just coked, you know. So you can see that's basically what I do here is all the 543 valve stuff. It's either timing jobs or exhaust manifolds. All this other stuff is kind of, you know, hub and bearings and CV shafts and all that stuff. It's kind of, I don't see it too often, you know. It's mainly engine work. And I change roller followers on all of them now. That's why I have the drawers just full of timing components. Because of that. You know, I keep everything really nice and organized. What I'm lacking right now is oil pumps. I need to stock up on those. Anyway, back to shop stuff. So you guys may have remembered in the last video I had these side bay lights installed, and they're great. They're beautiful. They're bright. They're angled right. They're at the right height. Everything's great, but they put in these ugly whips, these BX whips down here, really lazy stuff, you know. And I just didn't sit well with me. And a lot of you commented it looks hokey and all that stuff, especially for an electrical contractor. So over the winter break, I went ahead and I just reconfigured everything, painted the wall, and I reconfigured all the conduit on here, and put in actual straight pipe conduit in here, and did it right. And I think it looks so much better. And then, of course, once I had the other lift installed, we had to mirror that same side bay lighting on this side. So I did all of this over here from start to finish myself, and wired up the lift and all that stuff. Side bay lighting, if you guys don't have it, it's absolutely awesome. Hits right in the wheel wells when the truck's actually on the lift, and over here too, and it helps so much. Let me just give you an example. It just gets so much darker over here, especially when you get in the wheel wells, and then you turn it on, and it's just, oh, it's great, especially when the vehicle's on the lift. So let's talk about this thing. You guys probably already saw it. You might know about it from my Facebook post. I actually had AC installed in the shop. I figured the worst part of this job is working through the summer with the humidity and the heat here. It's unbearable sometimes. So with the, you think about it, you're working, it's hot out, the vehicles are coming in, the paint and everything is just smoking hot from the sun. You open the hood, the engine compartment, the trans, everything's just smoking hot, emanating, radiating heat up at you. It's just can get unbearable. So what I did, I had AC installed, a separate unit for AC, and a lot of you mentioned that, hey, that looks a little small for this space. I mean, it's huge in here. It's probably 22-foot ceilings over there, about 18 back here, and there's a lot of space in here, a lot of airspace. And then the heat loads, and then if you open that door, it's a 14-foot door, and, you got to figure all that stuff in. So a lot of you mentioned this is a little small. So this air handler is 4 tons, and then the unit outside is a 3.5 ton for this big space. Sure enough, it cools it in here. and it drops humidity, obviously, but it does not get that cool. So let's say in an 84-degree day, it was around 76 in here. Yeah, and that's with me starting the AC at 6 in the morning at 68 degrees and holding it at 68 degrees, and it still creeps up to 76 or so. So I call them back out here for $8,000. I paid for this thing, probably overpaid for it. It better freaking work. We started off from the beginning with this thing, with this space in mind, and it works. He brought the tech out here. The subcooling's good, 18-20 degree difference between inlet and outlet. All that good stuff, everything's working. It's just kind of maxing out for the space in here. And then he said, hey, let's install bigger ducts on there so we have a higher CFM for this area. Guess what? Actually kind of made it worse. There's another guy came in here and he said the ducts should have reducers on them, so we increased the static pressure inside the air handler here around the A coil, so it has more time to dissipate, transfer the heat to the A coil inside of there and allow that process to take place. So I just hounded him over and over again. I'm like, dude, it's like the one day it was 76 and here it's 81 outside. Like I paid $8,000 for this. We really? So I harassed him enough, man, and he finally came in. He said, I don't know what to do, and I don't think a bigger unit's going to fix it, and we're just going to come in and rip it all out, patch the holes in the wall, and give you your $8,000 back. So that is great because it frees me up to go to another, AC contractor and allow them to install the right size system. I'm getting estimates for, a 7.5-ton system in here. And the unit 2 doors down has a 5-ton unit, and it works so much better. So it's definitely undersized. I'm not even in the biz, and I can tell them that. But they just won't admit it. So what's great is they're coming back, they're giving me full money, and they're ripping it all out of here. So that'll work for me. So that's what's going on with the AC in here. Just another fiasco. But I will hound these people until it gets done right, because I do stuff and I do it right. Speaking of doing it right, Milwaukee, I finally got them to send me some more stuff out, all the new offerings they have. The impact sockets and all that stuff they have out now, it's just incredible. They're really concentrating on the automotive market, so it's great. They have the riveter out now and stuff like that. They have the high-speed ratchets that are out now, which I need to test. You can see they're brand new. I need to take some pictures and stuff like that. But I already tested them real quick, and they're fast. They're nice and fast, which is good for, front cover bolts and all that stuff. And then they have the new compact impacts out. Look how compact these things are. This is a 3/8 version right here. And the light upgrade on there is awesome. It's a huge difference in light. They sent me the 1/2-inch mid-torque. I had the mid-torque for years, ever since it came out. And they just sent me a new one. Yes, this is about a month or two old. This one is, I think, more powerful. Has the better lighting on there. More compact. But man, they did something with the speed on here. I mean, it's just like, you hit the trigger and it's just like, roar, roar, which helps with breakaway torque on fasteners. So I'm pulling off, stuff on the underbody of these rusty trucks and stuff, and it's the bolts that would never come apart before with the old bit torque, which was powerful. What the heck? Come loose with this. So we're not putting it down and grabbing for the big boy that's heavy. We are able to do so much more at the mid-torque, so hopefully have a review on this one pretty soon, a little snippet anyway, because this thing's awesome. If you guys are in the market for an impact, grab it. Trust me. That's how much I use the thing. So anyways, that's about it. You can see there's a couple different things going on around here. Things are coming along nicely. I just need to fix the AC concern and get back to working on these vehicles. That's all for now. I'll see you guys next time.